Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/bonfiresidechat. Over 100,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Some of our landings were desperate adventures. We are now prepared to meet the inevitable counterattacks with power and with confidence.
So welcome to the Appendix episode that is the companion for our Blighttown episode of Bonfireside Chat. My name is Kole Ross.
I am Gary Butterfield.
And I'm Nick Glauber.
And thank you so much for sticking around. As usual,
for nicking around.
Yes, for nicking around. This is the portion of the show, the episode where we read your responses. It's where you can participate, and then you'll hear some deleted scenes as well. At the end there. Of course, we begin with the errata because we are wrong about everything most of the time. And we really, really like it when you correct us because that enriches the conversation. And I would ask Gary for you to read Hugh's comment.
I will. Hugh says, as many people might tell you after the Depths episode, if you have no flame on you, he means if you don't have a pyromancer hand, Inigi can give you one if you egg up. Apparently, one interesting route to both trading to Snuggly and still being able to cast using one in the game. The Channeler in the Depths is an odd one. Perhaps undead animals are a direct result of Seath's experiments with immortality. My late curse tale is that I fell down a pit with a phantom with me into the basilisk area. Despite basically two-shotting them with a black knight sword, I fluffed something and got cursed. Not caring humanities makes a huge difference there. This is when I decided to try to do Nulando Ruins, but other than collecting some handy piles of transient curses, I could not get to Ingward or the Cursebite Ring with only half HP, even though I was one-shotting the ghost. I don't know why, other than just lack of skill and patience. So I burn a Purging Stone, and with full health get through just fine. This makes me very scared of ever trying Demon Souls with its ghost form mechanics.
So that is an interesting point that the channeler is there. I like that we are infecting everybody with wondering why these channelers are around.
Yeah, totally. all your guys is doing. Like you guys keep mentioning why are all these channelers everywhere, and now you got me thinking about it constantly every time I run into one too. Everybody's
doing the funky channeler.
Which is that dance they do.
Yeah, exactly. The little
I love that
dance.
Yeah,
it is a good dance.
that video, man. That Young Turks video. I don't. So I think we brought this up in the appendix, and by the time you've heard this or you sent in that response, you haven't heard it. Pre-tape call-in show. But don't worry about Demon Souls. Ghost form. Don't think of it as half health. Think of human form as twice as much health, and you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Demon Souls is not going to hurt you. You should play it. Everyone who loves Dark Souls should play it. It's not as good, I don't think, but
does the ghost form affect you for a large portion of the game?
Yes. You spend most of your time in ghost form, and that's half HP of what you have, or 75% if you wear a ring.
Yeah.
Okay.
But since you're there most of the time, like I said, I would just encourage you to think of that as your HP.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely need to get on that joint. Gary, let me borrow your PS3.
I probably could. Like I'm kind of partway through 3D Dot Game Heroes, but I'm kind of taking a break on that. So,
yeah.
And I know Levi was willing to loan me his PS3.
Yeah,
so you can get a PS3.
Yeah, I'll have to do that without purchasing one myself.
Yeah.
It's a big investment.
Unlike
Gary, I'm not willing to make that investment.
The things I do for this show.
Yeah. Nick, read what Bean Brew has to say.
Will do. Bean Brew says, personally, I think that the Channeler in the Depths is there to study the Gaping Dragon. Seath is interested in the scales of immortality, so he would be interested in any dragons that he can find. The Channeler in the Parish might also be there because of the Hellkite, despite the Hellkite being a drake. That's definitely some interesting points, especially since he's overseeing the fight with Gaping Dragon if you don't kill him off beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility there. Not because we came up with that. I think I kind of like the curse thing for him being there.
Yeah.
Just me, but I mean this makes sense too.
It does.
Him being interested in dragons. So dragon scales cause immortality.
It could be both. If there are two reasons for him to be there, wouldn't it be twice as likely that he'd be there?
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a good idea as well.
And conversely, like the Hellkite, I understand that. However, he's pretty far from the Drake itself. I think that it's more telling that he is overlooking where what's her name, Rhea, goes.
Yeah,
and that she's ultimately abducted.
And where ultimately I think that there was a Firekeeper.
Yeah.
Before she was abducted and her soul ended up there. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that that's what happened to that Firekeeper that was there.
Oh yeah,
because it's one of the maidens that's in his fortress.
She was Picassa'd.
Yeah, she got Picassa'd. Yeah. So,
and finally, Dennis via Facebook says, "Quick correction." Although it might have just been Kole using an ambiguous turn of phrase, you don't have to be at a bonfire to save your game. You can quit out pretty much any time, and when you reload, you'll start right from where you left off.
Yeah, so, I think it was you using an ambiguous turn of phrase, though.
Probably. Yeah. But to add to that, it's actually used a lot. Gary, you showed a video recently where when you save and quit, the game saves you at the last point your feet touched ground.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have been using that actually to access places they shouldn't be, where if you do a jump that your feet touch ground somewhere, but then your momentum would carry you off, you can save and quit before you hit a kill box, and then you'll be exactly where you were before you slid off of that area. And you showed someone using that to get below Sen's Fortress.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a famous or like a real popular way of doing speed runs where you can skip the whole second half of the game to do that to get into the kill into the first flame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Before getting Lord Soul 1.
Huh. I had no idea about that one.
Yeah. You also, you can abuse that too for the Bed of Chaos. Clearly.
Oh yeah.
I am very proud to say in my Archer run through, I beat the Bed of Chaos on my first without dying.
Oh wow!
Which I've never done before.
Way to go!
Yeah. I felt pretty good about that. That was tricky. The entirety of Lost Izalith has been just like a frame rate nightmare for that Let's Play. I was happy to do that. Real quick, there's another correction that we got that I remember that isn't in the notes, and I wanted to bring it up with you guys.
I'm looking at the forum now, actually. So
somebody said that because we had talked about uprating messages and that giving you a humanity. And someone on the Something Awful forum, do you have the name there, Kole?
Opposing Farce, who has a My Little Pony avatar, unfortunately.
Okay, well, let's not hold that against him.
Nope.
But he said that's not true. So do we? I guess we don't. We thought that was true.
Yeah.
I thought that was true too, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got the wiki handy. Let's since we're doing this on by time anyway. Let me.
Yeah. So while you're looking that up, I'll read this here. In the errata section of the last episode, somebody sent in a correction saying that using a soapstone message uprating a soapstone message gives you liquid humanity. But I'm like 95% certain that it's actually not the case. I've heard it both ways, and it's hard getting a solid answer. But I'm pretty sure someone tested it out in the Dark Souls threads recently and concluded it doesn't work. I apologize for not keeping up with that thread. It moves really, really fast.
Yeah. It definitely the podcast one does, and then also that Dark Souls thread is fast as lightning.
Yeah,
that's really hard to keep up with.
So Dark Souls wiki on Wikispaces, I know there's like 3 of them, but the Wikispaces one says that a positive rated message will reward the author with +1 humanity, but then immediately afterwards says unconfirmed, and some people claim additional flask. Or charges on your use flask.
I've heard the flask, although that one is actually more likely because if you're standing next to a bonfire when it's kindled, there might have been some coincidence.
Is.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's when somebody kindles a bonfire in that area.
Yeah, that's fairly well known, I want to say, but that's strange.
I would think it has some kind of mechanical benefit. At the very least, just because you're able to do it, and as a legacy mechanic from Demon Souls, like in Demon Souls, you get your health refilled. When someone operates something.
Huh.
So, I would be surprising to me if they just did nothing. But I guess I don't know for sure. I just kind of assumed it was true.
The community at large doesn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Which is
if anyone has like a solid source on that, let us know.
Yeah.
Or like a video proof or something like that.
Yeah, for real. We put it on the Facebook if you're not opposed to Facebook. If you are opposed to Facebook, you can message it to us on using the contact form, and we'll put it up on Facebook to resolve this question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our duty is not to misinform. We just don't. We just thought it was true.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like you get humanity randomly every once in a while, but that could also be some enemy falling off a cliff or something. Because you can get those random humanities before you kill the area boss.
Yeah, and that's something that happens really commonly, especially that happened to me a lot in Blighttown, actually. Enemies just falling off.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead. I was gonna say that I definitely in Blighttown was getting. I got 2 random humanity in this just last playthrough, just without knowing what the cause was. So,
do you guys know what it is when it's not a humanity? Because when a humanity. When you get that, it's kind of like a black streak. What is that? The kind of energy that goes to your head every once in a while? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Is that
I
souls?
want to say that's the flask.
That's the flask thing? It's not souls.
Yeah. I want to say that's the flash charge. When someone kindles a bonfire, you get a little light coming into you real quick. And, in your head. Yeah, okay. I think that's what that is. Because
maybe I was always looking at the head thing and didn't look down at my flask counter at the time. Yeah. Because I was wondering about that, what that was. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. This just in, Dark Souls has poorly explained multiplayer mechanics. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's it for the errata. We did pretty good.
Yeah.
We only have 4 corrections.
Not bad.
Let's see if we can top that with this last episode. But now we are on to listener responses. So these are just people's stories about Blighttown.
Yes.
And I'll start us off with Tim. And Tim says, as a first-time player, Blighttown wasn't so bad. Of course, I had heard a lot about the place by the time I got down there. The only real tough part was right after the first bonfire on the bridge. Fire-breathing hell dogs on one side, packs of giant hollows aggroing and climbing down to get me, and a toxic dark guy all teaming up to keep me chained in that place. That particular spot was also bad, since it's quite a walk back to get to any kind of store or another bonfire. Quelaag wasn't bad at all, but the creepy-looking entrance plus ominous boulder fatties kept me looking for other places to go for a good while.
Yeah, that reminds me of something that I didn't bring up. The notion of those climbing after you. If there's an enemy on that ladder, that ladder might as well not exist.
Yeah. Get off my ladder, because they'll just stab down at you or upper you, or you don't really have any means of fighting them until they get the hell off. Something
I didn't realize, everything that an enemy can do on a ladder, you can do too. So I knew about the way to just slide down a ladder real quick, but you can attack downward, you can kick downward or attack upward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you can if you slide down, you can kind of butt stomp on people's heads.
Yeah.
Until they fall down, which is the most undignified way of killing people. I watched a bunch of PvP videos.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to read this difficult to pronounce name?
Yes,
sure.
I will. Oh, I'm sorry. Who were you talking
I don't know
to?
who was gonna say it.
I was talking to Nick, I think, if we're keeping in order.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking we were just keeping the same word. But anyway, I believe Orthogonalis says, first time I ventured into Blighttown, I did not see the poison dart shooters at all. I just saw my poison meter fill up while I wasn't doing anything in particular, and naturally concluded that the air itself must be poisonous down there.
Like the gas in Metal Gear Solid or something.
Yeah. I went right back out in search of an item to help me deal with that. Turns out there are no gas masks, you lord, right? But at least I leveled up a bit during my futile search, so I returned fully prepared to deal with it efficiently. Okay, so I fell off a moving platform once, but other than that, I was fine. Oh, and the flying things that are pretty annoying. Oh, the flying things are pretty annoying too. And come to think of it, I got lost a lot. You know what? Fuck that place. There's some areas where being over-leveled doesn't help you much, and this is one of them.
Very well composed, Orthogonalis.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That bit about the over-leveled is true, because you have to be very high level to make toxic trivial.
Yeah.
And, you're never high enough level to survive those falls. Fatal falls are always fatal, even if you have the slow fall ability.
Yeah.
So.
There's an invisible box in the world, and if you go into that, it's instant death.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So that's that is good. The only benefit I could see from being over leveled is being able to deal with the enemies quicker, so they stop being a hindrance to your ability to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just be a wheat thresher going through, it would be less of a concern.
This is definitely the level that being over leveled would have the least impact, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Dan via contact says, Blighttown was a complete mystery to me. After going through the depths, I used the master key and took the back entrance to Blighttown. Hey, brother. I learned that the giants were slow and stupid, and you could easily lure them into pits. You can rush down the blow dart guys and cure toxic afterwards. When I waited for a friend so he could take on Quelaag together, it took him over 30 minutes to get to the bonfire, as he was constantly dying. I was completely bewildered to what could possibly be causing him trouble. It was only much later that I decided to go through the front door for loot that I found the surprise dogs and the gibberlings that force you to make the saving throw against cannibalism with your vitality. that I understood why my friend was having so much trouble. Maybe one day I'll try a run without the master key, but it's just much too convenient.
Did you write that, Cole? And that's just your story, and you're just using him as a cover?
Dan is not a sock puppet. Why should we let him go? Yeah.
I love that idea of like an area just being like for one person being like crazy fucking difficult because they did it the hard way, and for someone else being being really really easy.
Work smarter, not harder. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey man, you don't have that Yaito on your mantle.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is
good sword.
It is. Yeah.
It is a good sword.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Tom via Facebook says, a friend and I picked up Dark Souls at the same time and resolved to play through it, unspoiled, in parallel, prompting many frenzied Facebook messages back and forth as we discovered amazing/horrifying things. He went Sorcerer, having played Demon Souls already, while I went Melee/Pyromancy. He generally had an easier time with bosses, but the big difference between us early on, he did not pick the Master Key as his gift. His anguish as we realized that I could just waltz straight to Quelaag as he bashed his face against Blighttown over and over again was absolutely delicious.
So you weren't the only one, Cole. I would have thought that would be a rarer sight than it seems to have been.
Yeah. I won't gloat. It's vindication.
Yeah, I had a hard time as a sorcerer too with that. Like he's exactly right on about sorcery making the bosses more or less trivial for the first half of the game and making Blighttown really tough.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Murphy via Facebook said the fact that Gary apologies if it was Cole never went the front way makes me feel sad and also makes me think that he is worse than Pol Pot.
I am a noted anti-intellectual.
Exaggerated dictator comparisons aside, once you get to the giant poison lake and realize you're supposed to run in it, it actually gets fun. Looking at the lake is sure a fucking Dark Souls moment, though. I did a melee build in light armor, so getting around was fine. The spider things are a threat, but are interruptible. Sorry, let me say that again. But are interruptible and fightable. I also really liked the boss, as you had to balance getting in close, staying away, dodging, and attacking. I didn't have the same negative reaction to Toxin. To me, it was just the natural progression of poison. I did have a collection of the mossy purple clumps at the time, so it wasn't super deadly after the first time. Also, I read in the wiki beforehand that it was a good idea to have the spider shield equipped, so that might have helped mitigate.
But one thing he didn't leave in that comment is this is on Facebook, and I corrected him that it was Cole, and then he referred to Cole as Cole Pot. I'll take it.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this is the beginning of the one of the few people who are kind of like, no, Dark Soul or Blighttown was great.
Yeah,
some people definitely liked it.
A couple of apologists here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Or is it me?
Yeah.
Or it's you.
It is you.
Okay, it is me. Jeremy Dawson via Facebook says, the boss is one of my favorite things in the game. Although, fuck those egg curies right before the boss chamber. Fighting your way to the boss chamber through the poison swamp, fire spiders, and multiple troll giants, only to be killed by some impossible to hit maggots, I guess is meant to teach you the lesson that sometimes it's okay to just run. I also think it is one of the first places where you get a true sense of scale. And the Forest Hunter's Merchant, Pyro Trainer, Her Fair Lady, and Great Hollow means that you'll be getting well acquainted with each and every inch of the place. Just be sure to bring that rusted iron ring. That's something we didn't mention at the beginning of the episode, but we said it last time. Like Blighttown without that ring, I don't know, man.
It's a pain. You can definitely do it as long as you're low equipped, as long as you're fast rolling.
Fine.
Okay, yeah.
It's if you're medium
slog.
Yeah, if you're medium rolling or fat rolling, like you definitely want the ring. Even though like getting the ring, like I only like to make 1 or 2 trips at most back to the asylum.
Yeah.
And at this point, fighting the asylum demon is fucking tough.
Yeah.
So like making a trip just to grab the ring is fine, but if you're trying to be efficient, like you are kind of low level to be fighting the stray demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Matthew Kim says via Facebook, another person in Team Kole, I guess. He says, like Kole, I never went into the front way for a very long time, but my favorite part about Blighttown is the awesome crimson gear that you get. Once I got the crimson hat for the first time, I immediately got a scythe and went to town. I love that. Just like it's a foregone conclusion. You should be a reaper with that. Going back and trying the full Blighttown in my 4th playthrough, I didn't find it to be that bad. Probably because I was already twinked out. But nonetheless, I never revisit Blighttown because it really is a slugfest to go through.
Yeah.
Literally a slugfest.
Yeah, slugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got a character who's made that I haven't gone through. It's the Crimson King, who wears that who wears that stuff without the head or without the hood, you know, and it just has like white long hair. You can't do a beard in this game, which is too bad. But
yeah, frustrating.
I think as soon as I got that set on my first character, I was high dex and I had katanas, and I was like, this is a perfect fit. This is such a good set.
Yeah. We get the shadow set down there too, which is the ninja set.
Yeah.
That is also really good for that.
Ninja looking set. Both the sets you get down here, because I think the crimson set does have really good poison and fire resistance.
Yeah.
I know the ninja set does, the shadow set. I don't know about the crimson robes.
It definitely does, yeah.
Does
it? It has very high resistances, yeah.
Yeah. It really is gold hemmed robe, like 0.5.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, David Ritchie says via Facebook, the first time I went to Blighttown, what a day that was. I had recently acquired the spider shield from the depths, so the Toxo Dart guys weren't too much of a pain for me. However, on the way down, I was invaded by another player for the very first time. I had heard about the PvP system in this game, but I didn't really know much about how it worked. I hid for about 3 minutes before coming face to face with a red phantom dressed in what I thought at the time was probably really high-level stuff. I blocked him for a while, but ended up getting killed after I let the pressure get to me. The phantom one-shot me, and I had to go all the way back to the middle bonfire. Now I'm the one doing the invading.
Oh no!
This is how I could have turned out.
The cycle
after
continues.
My invasion.
Yeah.
Like he's the dark version of me. It's like Looper.
Yeah.
It's like
No spoilers, dog. No spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, invasion's like child abuse. Like it's just a cycle that continues every time.
Can I? Because I don't know where to put it. Can I tell a real quick invasion story?
Yes, you may. I was going to ask you to do that.
Yeah. So I'm in the on my SL1 character. I ran into my first hacker, which is something I'd heard about and seen videos of, but I never actually fought. So I'm making my way to Orange Sea and Smo, and it's taking me a million tries. I'm having a really hard time with it. He's not twinked out, like he's not +5 Ascended Flame because I don't want to grind. He's just, I think I have a +11 Flame. I'm not very powerful for this boss fight. And I'm making my way through. I'm getting ready to challenge him again, and I have Solaire with me. And then a phantom appears right in front of the boss door. And to invade me, like I don't have tons of Sin, so he has to be level, within 10% of my level.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is somebody, purposely invading level 1 dudes. And I start preparing to fight him. I put up my shield, and he kills Solaire in one shot and turns him into a curse statue. And I'm like, oh shit. Because I'd read about this. Bob Mackey actually talked about it, getting invaded in the Burg with somebody who had a sword that caused egg status and curse status at the same time. So I see this, and like in a moment I'm kind of proud of as far as quick thinking. And I guess I could have just went back to the desktop, but I just ran from him and jumped off the bridge. Like ran out the front doors of Anne Orlando and just jumped off the bridge. And, instantly turn around and just suicided. And then I sent him a message because I'm pretty frustrated at this point, and this is already taking me 1,000 tries to get there. And I'm like, that's pretty lousy to what you're doing is pretty lousy. So again, I always use complete sentences when I'm talking to people on Xbox. I'm like, that's kind of, lousy of you to, hack your way into having a curse weapon and invade level 1 guys, dude. And then he sent a thing. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Players can't curse other players. Total bullshit, though, because I know I saw it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, which again, that's my way I end internet arguments.
Right.
And then he sent a thing. He's like, that must have been a graphical glitch. And then I go through. I try one more time. I can't make it. And then he invades me again. and I run off the bridge again. And then I'm like, okay, I think it's like Dark Akamano Nono or something like that is his name. I'm like, okay, Dark Akamano Nono, you have succeeded in stopping me from playing Dark Souls for a night. Good job. I'm done. But that would have been such a nightmare if I would have got cursed, because I would have had to go all the way back. It's before you get the Lord Vessel.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Like, that's a terrible place to get cursed.
Fuck.
Like, yeah, it would have been a long trip for me.
Yeah.
But he did not. I managed to deny him that.
Good job.
Yeah,
what an asshole.
Yeah, definitely. You took away his joy a little bit, I think. But
I hope so. I hope to deny him a little bit of joy.
Like, why would you deny it at that point? Like, who is he trying to save face for? The person he just fucked over?
Yeah, he was probably trying to get me to fair fight him. Like, he was telling me that he didn't cause curse. Like,
I thought it was after you died that you messaged him. After you jumped the first time. Okay,
but he was still invading.
Yeah,
he was on an
invasion
again.
Yeah.
So maybe he, and maybe in the future this will teach him not to fight Solaire and tip his hand.
Yeah.
But it was genuinely a good moment of quick thinking, because I only had kind of a split second to run away, and I was like, that's a curse statue. Shit. And then just dove the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Good job.
And luckily I was light, so I could outrun him.
There's something unsettling about the idea of Solaire as a curse statue, though.
It was. I would have loved to have looked at it. I would have loved to have spent some time and checked it out. I wish I could have messaged him and say truce for a couple minutes. Let me take a look at this thing. Take some screenshots.
Yeah.
But yeah, what an asshole.
Yeah, for real.
What an asshole. Why? I mean, I've said it before 1,000 times, but don't. I mean, I guess okay. So there's no way that I'm new to the game at this point, because I'm level 1ing at Anne Orlando. But people who do that for people who are just in the Berg, or people who level 50 that Anne Orlando, why are you trying to discourage people from, it wouldn't take that much. It's a tough game, and getting, people invading you with any kind of regularity that can curse or egg you. I can just see it making people quit, you know?
What do you mean, man? This game's easy.
Assholes, man.
Well,
it is exactly like child abuse.
I think people have said that there's also, some people can invade and, kill NPCs. And make Anne Orlando dark. All of a sudden you're in the middle of Anne Orlando and it goes dark.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of people attempting to get people to kill their own NPCs.
Yeah.
People will invade and then go hang out by people who are really useful and try to trick you into killing them.
Yeah.
And that's a real dickheady thing to do too. Yeah. If someone's on their first run through the game, you're ruining the rest of the game for them. For me, getting, fucking up a playthrough, that's, 13 hours of my time. It's not that big a deal, but by the time I got to Anne Orlando the first time, I was 55 hours in.
Yeah, that's 40, 50 hours.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Dickheads, man.
I can't imagine.
Dickheads. Yeah. Go to hell.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Wow. So,
anyway,
moving on here. Jeremy Greer via Facebook says, did anyone else put a beware of ring sign down in front of the lever for the bell and think they were being extremely clever? No? Just me?
That's pretty funny. And I haven't actually seen that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
Pretty good, Soapstone. I like that one.
Yeah.
Yep. I do not know how to pronounce this.
Let's say Heije Flogstad.
Heije Flogstad via Facebook says,
we have I know we say it a lot. We have awesome fan names.
I love it when we get these international things too.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like a big man. Yeah. So Heije, and if we were pronouncing your name wrong, it's definitely not on malice. He says, I heard that
it's a lady.
Oh, it's a lady. I apologize. I heard that Blighttown was just awful, so I put off going there for the longest time. I was too traumatized by the depths to go back there, so I fought my way through the Valley of the Drakes. But when I got to Blighttown, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I must have imagined something far worse. A high level and the rusted iron ring helped a lot too. I just loved exploring the Great Hollow and getting all the crystal lizards. The Cursed by Ring helped me feel invincible against those horrid basilisks. I'm doing my second playthrough with you guys, and this time I'll probably take the front way at the intended experience level. It will probably not be as pleasant.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I guarantee it.
Yes. If the previous episode didn't convince you, yes.
Yeah. And even, people will probably call us babies about complaining about it at some point. Keep in mind that, this is through a lens of our kind of first playthroughs.
Yeah.
Of it, it being hard. I know now how to deal with it. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But the first time, it really was a really frustrating experience.
Yeah. So. Looking at pronouncenames.com, it's pronounced Heiji.
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 All right, thank you, Heiji.
I think you guys got that pretty close the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, I believe it's Nick's turn?
Yeah. Anthony, via Facebook, says, probably missed the deadline, but since I know you're going to get a lot of complaining and haterade about Blighttown, I want to be the dissenting voice because I love it. It's probably the first genuinely challenging level of the game, starting with the dung giants near the narrow platforms, and then the mutants, and then the bewildering layout and all the toxic dark guys. On a recent playthrough, I tried running through it as fast as I could and ended up with 5 of the mutants chasing me around, all of them capable of one-hit kills on my character. And some true Dark Souls happened, and I managed to kill 4 of them, and then I fell to my death. It was great.
There are some people in this world who love to have their balls stomped on by high heels. They love nothing more.
That is definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite area in the game. Like, all in all, I don't think there's anything I like less than it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, like, it's definitely, like everything in Dark Souls, it's far easier the second time through.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, on my second playthrough, I made the jump to the Iato, and then you can go immediately from there to the bonfire, and you skip that first, like, super complicated area of trying to maneuver your way around enemies. So you can run past the first 5 enemies, jump to the Iato, get to the bonfire, and, 5 seconds, you've got halfway through the top half.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And you can, I mean, he talks about it being kind of a plus that it's got these winding tunnels and stuff like that. Like, I like it from a hidden item perspective. From a, which way to go perspective, I get a little bit frustrated with it.
Yeah.
An area that I like that does that better, I think, is the painted world.
Yeah.
Like, I like how freeform and how all the little, like, nooks and crannies, because everything doesn't look the same in the painted world. Like, part of it, like, is the color scheme and just the fact that everything is a wooden plank, around you in Blighttown makes it really hard to kind of know your way around. You know a general way, but the, actually you get disoriented really, really quickly. Again, it just kind of feels like a pile of mechanics kind of on top of each other almost.
Yeah, it's purposely dark. Your vision's severely limited compared to other more open areas, especially the areas leading up to this directly, like the depths and especially Undeadburg. Like, you can see for miles in those areas. And here you
how can you see better in the sewers than you can under the open air?
And when you cross that threshold, like, it gets darker.
Yeah, that weird yellow filter.
Immediately when the title screen comes up, it's
no, even before that. Even before that, like when you go through the door that the Blighttown key unlocks, like it gets darker. The yellow filter doesn't come in, but like you can walk back and forth and it will fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out. Yeah. So Coyote with a 7 instead of a T from Something Awful says, the solution to Blighttown is using a bow to pull or kill almost everything. Most of the enemies in Blighttown have just as tough a time as players do navigating. So if you bring a short bow and find some high ground, it's fairly simple to pull the snake men 1 or 2 at a time and kill them at leisure if they ever actually make it to you without falling to their doom. Not snake men, they're the infested blight people.
I'm sure that's what he meant.
Yes.
He was just pulling a Gary.
Yeah, that's fine. For both of you, that's fine. A bow also makes it a lot easier to deal with some of the blow darts, and the dogs near the bonfire in particular will kill themselves PDQ if you shoot them from above a ladder. The fatties took me a long time, but once again, it's merely intimidation for the most part. Once you learn that it's safest to just get in close and get behind them, they're easier to backstab than Havel. The mosquitoes are my main bane in this area, and even then, it's only because I hate having to pause what I'm doing to wield my bow and lock onto them and shoot them before moving on. In case it hasn't already gotten mentioned, the easiest way to Quilog from the bottom of the bonfire is just to run along the right side of the wall near the water wheel, then beeline for the hive to the right of the fatties. Even without a rustring, it's pretty easy to get through and only burn 1 purple moss, although the mosquitoes can hit you and stagger you if you're not careful. Finally, I had no idea that those flame whip spinning things would shat lava on me from getting behind them until I'd played probably 150 to 200 hours. of the game and cleared that area more than 10 times. Sometimes you can still be surprised. Of course, Capra, the Depths, and Blighttown are all pretty much entirely optional with the Master Key.
I didn't know that the flame bugs could shit on you.
Neither did
Yeah,
I.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. You guys talk. I'm going to look them up on the wiki.
Oh,
Okay.
That's it. When you bring up that thing about playing a game for a long time and then having new things come up, that's happening in the Let's Play I'm doing too. Like I was fighting Ceaseless Discharge, and he was doing an attack I'd never seen before, and it's just kind of crazy. You can put so many hours into something and still have it surprise you.
Yeah.
It just really goes to show how much From is put into this game. There's so much to it, and that's probably the primary reason why it's got this weird, huge fan base that kind of just came up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Gods among men. When you stab these ogres, it definitely, if you're doing it with a dagger, you're definitely sticking it up their butthole. And that happens with the snakes as well.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking. You're just slamming a sword into their butthole.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a dagger either. You can do it with just anything that has the straight sword moveset.
Anything can go up a butt, is what Kole is saying.
Yes.
So,
if you're patient enough, anything can go up a butt.
Yours as a ER triage nurse has taught him.
Oh, finally, you reveal my day job. But there is the Dark Souls wiki.wiki. Chicka chicka wow west says that they have an attack called Fire Egg, but it doesn't explain what it is. So
perhaps a good job for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Ramagama via Something Awful says, Quelaag? Easy? Fuck that. My first Dark Souls character had put some 18 hours in the game before hitting a brick wall in Blighttown, stumbling into that bitch spider fairy demon with no end in sight. Granted, I was new to the game and still not privy to its deepest mechanics, but I felt that was the end of my Dark Souls journey. Skip forward some 14 months and 5 characters, and I'm shoving a lightning halberd into that arachnid anus with time enough to spare to watch a movie and catch a fine meal afterwards. Although nothing delights my senses more than the portion of Dark Souls after that queen bitch, so long it was denied to me. So,
little aggressive.
I think I know what he means in the wording that he put it. I think he means like from the beginning of the game to the time he kills Quelaag.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
You can do that all in an hour and a half and some change.
Yes. Okay, cool. We had some trouble parsing that initial sentence, so I think we may have read it differently, but the spirit remains the same. Something is being compared to dinner in a movie.
Yes.
Right.
And Queen Bitch is brought up. Good song. There are a lot of other comments on the Something Awful board that were just to the effect of like, yeah, fuck that place.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'd say most of the comments, there were like maybe like 5 or 6, just like one line, fuck that place.
In fact, the response after you asked for responses was just simply fuck that place.
Yeah. Hey guys, what can you tell me about Blighttown? Fuck that place.
I didn't intend to do that, but so.
Yeah, again, just we mentioned this in the main show. If you would like to have your comment read on the air, please get in touch with us either through that Something Awful board, through the Facebook group, or through Duckfeed.tv/contact. And we'd love to hear what you have to say about Sen's Fortress. And again, I've said it for like the last 4 episodes. It's like I'm just expecting some fury because all of these areas, a lot of them seem like ripe for great stories.
Yeah, please tell us your tales of woe and despair.
Yeah, swinging blades.
Yeah,
discuss.
I'll make one quick confession about Sen's Fortress.
Please do.
While we're talking about it, I've never done any of the lower portion that you can fall into and fight the Titanite demon and all that. I've skipped it entirely both times that I've gone through it. I know it's completely optional. I know there's some good stuff down there, but I cannot be arsed.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass. Like getting down there is hard, even for like relatively decent characters for me.
Yeah.
I usually don't do it. And there's one where you have to fight 2 Titanite demons at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of kite them around a corner and get away with not doing it, but it's fucking hard.
It's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unless you're looking for Titanite, demon Titanite, there's no real reason to do it.
Man.
If you are, it's an easy source of 4 shards.
Yeah,
So,
for real.
Yeah. But
So, anything else before we conclude our session tonight, gentlemen?
no.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go feed my cat, so you'll shut the fuck up. Like, everyone has been listening to him just like howl incessantly for the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So we'll stick some food in him.
I need to go to bed. So, this has been Kole Ross.
Yeah, this has been Gary Butterfield.
And Nick Glauber.
Praise the sun.
Praise the sun.
Deleted scenes. Let me see here.
Whoa.
Very interesting.
It sounded like I was joking about it. Like you're going to have superpowers when you came back. Because I just heard this like crazy noise and you just go, oh shit. And then it was quiet. And then you were gone. I was like, oh God, he's Dr. Manhattaning.
Yeah, no. I was attempting to plug in my FireWire drive. So I could record onto that. That might be the way to go about it because of my internal hard drive problems. So I'm doing that now. But when I went to do that, there was some kind of like static electricity kind of thing. It sounded like the worst Silent Hill monster was like breathing right into my ears, like like lots of static and like metal, you know. I ripped off my headphones and went, "Oh fuck." Because it was really loud, and then I immediately turned off my audio interface.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
It was real bad. I still got like a high-pitched ringing in my ears, which means I will never hear that frequency again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What is...
I was going to say...
You remember Nick, right?
Yeah. No, he's a cool dude. Hey, Nick.
How's it going, Cole?
You're a cool dude.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. No,
it's like on the back of the Nick box. Cool dude. Kole Ross.
IGN.com. Yeah. Man. Yeah. So joining us to talk about the BT.
BT. BT junkies.
The BT cruiser.
The BT.
BTjunkie.org. Nick Glauber, founder of BTjunkie.org.
Founder of.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't get me in legal trouble now.
Oh, man.
Also been like, man, we've been searching for this guy for ages.
Who would have thought?
we thought that we thought that he disappeared in the Caymans. Yeah.
Founded this when you were
13. By which I mean he was eaten by a caiman. You know.
What's a caiman?
That's a crocodile.
Oh.
It's a crocodile.
Is that what the
little ones, right?
What's that?
It's one of those like miniature crocodiles, right?
I think so. Yeah, like a caiman. Yeah.
Is that what they done named the island after?
What they done it? Yes.
Is that what the island? Why it's called the Cayman Islands?
No, it's spelled differently.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. CAIMAN. As opposed to CAYMAN or KMAN, which is my rap name.
K-Man? Coltrane, dude. That's your rap name.
Coltrane. Although at one point my name was, I determined it would be Ice Tray.
Ice Tray?
TRE.
Stone Cold Creamery. Like, we don't have to keep going over this. Like, you definitely got a rap name already. Like, Stone Cold Creamery or Stone Cold Facts.
Stone Cold Facts.
Yeah. Stone Cold, like, is also good.
The Cold Hard Facts.
The Cold Hard Facts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is a fun conversation to have about the whitest man alive.
Yeah, we've solved this bit of you.
Yes, we have.
It's done.
We've decoded the Cole rap genome.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Cole.
All right. Out comes the bell.
Tom Hanks just like, you wake up and Tom Hanks is just squatting over you with a magnifying glass, like investigating all the lines in your face. I've got to find out the secret.
Oh man!
What did the founding fathers have in mind when they invented gold?
This is really upsetting because it turns out I have a map printed on the back of my skin.
Yeah, just on the inside, it's all veins. If you follow his veins, it's actually the map to the lost city of Atlantis.
Yes.
Lost city of Atlanta.
The chase is afoot.
Yeah. Lost city of Atlanta.
You can either buy an atlas, or you can turn Kole inside out.
Yeah. My carotid is I-77.
Go watch a Braves game. Yeah.
Watch a Braves. That's funny. There was something funny that I was thinking about, just in where you get the spider shield. And I know this is something from last episode. However, the fact that you jump down that chute to get to the giant rat, with the spider shield, all I can think of is those butchers are feeding the giant rat. Like they capture people and drop it down there as their pet, feeding them. Yeah. Yeah,
that's probably true.
I didn't.
Doesn't make sense.
Just
occasionally
wild speculation as we are so wont to do. But yeah. What is it? There's the whip, and then there's the notched whip, and both of them.
The whips are a very interesting class of weapons because they're so bad and very rare.
Yeah.
You can't backstab with them. You can't dive attack with them. You can't riposte with them. They do almost no damage. The notched whip is not too bad, and then the guardian tail from the DLC is a whip. And that does that's okay. It deals like poison damage and is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. But you don't get that until way later in the game. So playing whips is definitely like a gimmick challenge thing.
Right.
Along with like the dragon claw or whatever it is. The dragon bone fist.
The claws, yeah.
Yeah.
You can do the punch.
Although you can upgrade the whip to the life hunt scythe, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think you're right.
Silasol.
Yeah, kind of weirdly, it's one of the weird items that you can turn into that. I think you're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a good scythe. Like, the life hunt scythe is super awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, back.
Okay. I'm gonna pause my video. I cannot afford to be not entertained for 45 seconds. So not acceptable. So.
Yeah. It might not be wise for the continuity of the show. These bathroom breaks. My usual podcast drink: a cup of tea and then a liter of seltzer, of which I'm 3/4 of the way through.
Going dehydrated myself.
Yeah,
so.
going.
That's how you do it.
I'm just trying to get a headache.
In fact, you just ate a bunch of jerky before we recorded.
Yeah, I know, jerky coated in peanuts. Peanut jerky.
Peanut jerky. It's of your own invention.
Mm-hmm. Nuts and gum. All right.
Catchphrase.
No, it's fine. Having a catchphrase is pretty funny, but we do it in Watch Out for Fireballs too. Like all of the shows have some kind of sign off, which makes no sense. Even though the pitch sign off is just bye Brayton, like good night. So
I like how you guys built identifying yourselves into the metafiction.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got more things like that, they're coming up and are continuing to move forward too. So,
my favorite. I was in Kentucky yesterday. Actually, I was driving and I was listening to the pitch as I do, and this is one of the ones I didn't listen to until when it came out, which is weird. But I when you asked Brayden, so what happens if you get caught in the hole? Is there like a way that you can like call for help? And he said no. Beat. Yeah.
Yeah. That one, that's a weird one because we recorded that a long time ago before we decided to do Love Month. Mm-hmm. So the show has changed a little. Like he was pointing that out. Like the show changed a little bit in the interim since I was not really on our arc that we're on. But
well, you refer to Behedra at the beginning, like talk about that trip.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Which hasn't been. That was supposed to come right after that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Cool.
You want to give me some comments and have me read them off too?
Yeah. Let's send you the. Nick has been going without the notes.
Holy crap! I feel really bad about that.
No, good job, Nick.
Yes, thank you. Wow.
You brought up things that you were keeping us on point in a way which made me think you had access to them.
Yeah.
No notes.
I feel
excellent.
Okay.
All my own notes, guys.
Very, very good work.
Yeah.
Very good work.
Wow. Note to self: always send notes before the show.
Notes to self. Notes to others.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay.
No,
yeah.
I think,
they're in the Skype box.
Like you mentioned your notes. I didn't even think that you guys had been doing that to the other guys. Like this is
no.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, we're just singling you out for some reason.
Yeah.
Well,
on accident.
Well, good.
And we all pray that we will have far more soon